Hi everyone, welcome to part 5 of vendor risk management video series. In this video, we'll talk about modules that we use to access vendor risk management. We'll talk about updateset utility. We'll talk about VRM architecture. So as part of this, in order to see what modules are there as part of vendor risk assessment, we'll edit this in Studio, this application, so we can see what is installed as part of this. Yeah, so here if you see under navigation, we have application name called vendor risk. So that's the application menu. And then under that, you have all these modules which are available. So we'll start from there. So look for vendor risk as the application menu. Under this, we have overview, which will take you to the overview dashboard. And then we have vendor management workspace, which will take you to the workspace. And we'll let that load. And then and then you have this vendors section where you have all vendors, vendor contacts, all four-party vendors. And then we have engagements where you have all engagements. You have tiering assessments, like my tiering assessments, all open tiering assessments, all tiering assessments. And then you have under assessments, you have my all open. And then assessments due, vendor responses due, repeating assessments. And then you have issue section, you have task section, assessment setup section, tiering setup section, scoring setup section, third party provider setup section, assessment submission rules, admission, administration section. I'll minimize all this. So I'll get a summary of what is there here under vendor risk. Yeah, so these are all the different sections we have under vendor risk, and each of them have modules. So depending on whichever functionality we want to uh, access, we can go to the corresponding section and the module. For example, if you go to administration, you have question bank and choices, and then assessment submission rules, you have tier-based or provider-based, third-party provider setup, you have all this third-party providers, third-party survey provider services, third-party scores, third-party sub-factors, and so on. So basically, there are different modules which are available as part of the vendor risk. And as we can see in the application scope here, so these are all the various modules. Right? So yeah, and then we also have a couple of mobile modules. One is completed this week and overdue. Right? So these are all of them. That covers the modules. Next, we'll talk about a utility called add to update set. So I'll go to share for that. And uh, so if you go to share, there is a project called add to update set utility. And this is the one which we have to install so that if any data has to be migrated as part of the deployments, then that can be done through this utility. So it's a simple installation. I'll just quickly download this. And we'll go to retrieved update sets. Upload it. So it's already here and I have committed this. We can just go over this. And now if you go to any of the records, let's say like for example groups, you'll see that utility comes up. For example, groups work. Sorry. So user groups. Yeah. And then here if you see, if you open any record here, you'll see that this utilities, this related link is available, which basically adds this record to the update set. At the same time, if you see it in the list, you'll also see that option coming up. Here also you can see this add to update set, which comes up as a list option. So yeah, that's the use of that. That utility. So next we talk about VRM architecture. So if you see here, there are two types of users who are involved in this architecture. One is internal and external. External users access through vendor portal. A vendor can be a child vendor or a vendor, and the internal users, they'll have assessment template, vendor record, vendor contacts, and assessment instance or engagements. And then once you have GRC installed, you have risk audit compliance response, and then you have issues and tasks. So basically, all these pieces come together to enable this vendor risk management functionality. And then VRM is made available as store releases. So as I mentioned, and we have seen the plugin versions as well. So we can see that, uh, yeah, so because we have store releases for VRM, so that can be, I mean, that can be made available outside family releases, and they are backward compatible with prior releases. So these are the release versions. So for GRC policy and compliance, it is 12.0.1. And when the instance is upgraded, we get MVP for store releases, so minimum viable product for store releases. So 14.1.3 is for San Diego, Rome, and Quebec major release, which is 23rd March 2022. And so if you can see here, this is the version which is installed, 15.0.7. And if you click on this, it will take you to the store for release notes. And similarly, for workspace, it is 15.0.6, and so on and so forth, right? So if you have to look for GRC, and look for policy and compliance. Yeah, so here, if you see this one, let's expand this section here. So you have policy and compliance management. It is 15.0.1 is installed. Okay, this is the installed version. 15.0.1 is for release. It's for Rome, San Diego, and Tokyo. So that's the latest version. So it's 15.0.1. 15.0.1. And for GRC risk, it is 15.0.2. And if you go to the store, you can see that this is the application version and then the compatibility information, all of that. Yeah. So incompatibility is Tokyo, San Diego, Rome, and so on. Right. So this is the VRM store app. And this is the release notes. So we can take a copy of this. So as you can see, the newly added features added support for third-party scores to roll up in risk rating calculation, and then in fixed inaccurate message sometimes seen on vendor risk assessment page due to missing advanced risk plugin, missing translations in risk assessment designer, improved translation support for application, risk area field and mapping fields could not be changed for single domain, third-party provider services after it has been created, improved performance of saving fourth-party questionnaires in vendor portal. When vendor risk assessment is deleted, the issues and tasks are moved to closed cancel state. Remove the incorrect load condition on business rule as it was too restrictive. Uh, yeah, so these are the different like this is the release notes for this version. And yeah, so that is about the architecture and the release notes and all of that. So that complete scope of what you want to discuss in this video. We will look at the next topics in the subsequent video. So thank you for watching.